People said Angel Reese was the worst player on the Chicago sky. That was the line that spread fast. It hit timelines like a siren. It sounded harsh. It sounded final. It sounded personal. And it set off a week where every play, every miss, every look became a headline. Fans did not just react. They piled on. They turned a basketball debate into a full identity war. But this story is bigger than one bad night. It is bigger than one missed free throw. It is about pressure, image, rivalry, and the cost of being the lightning rod on a team that cannot escape the storm. The poll came first. A blunt question with a sharp edge. Who is dragging the sky down? Some fans picked Angel without blinking. Others called the poll trash, but the damage was done. The label stuck. Worst. Not struggling. Not inconsistent. Worst. That word lives in your head when the game gets tight. It lives in the pause at the line. It lives in the doubt before a shot. It lives in the echo after a miss. And once it is out there, it refuses to go back in the box. Angel is not soft. She is loud, proud, and unafraid. That is her brand. That is also why the blowback hits different. She grew famous for edge, for swagger, for not blinking when the world stared back. So when she stumbled, the celebration from haters was loud. The apology demands were louder. The think pieces got longer. It felt like people were waiting for a window, and when they saw one, they jumped through it. But that was not the whole story. The sky were wobbling, and the locker room buzzed with it. People whispered about roles, touches, trust. Everybody had an opinion. Some of those opinions went public. Some words came off sharper than planned. The timeline took those words, twisted them, and fed them back with spice. Then came the team sit-downs, the closed-door talks. The we are good posts. The we are family posts. You know the drill. When a team is winning, those posts feel real. When a team is not, those posts feel like makeup on a bruise. And yet, on many nights, Angel still produced. She fought for boards. She ran the floor. She worked the glass like it owed her something. The stat line could look clean. Points, rebounds, hustle numbers. But the game is not a spreadsheet. Momentum does not read a box score. The moment does not care about averages. One play at the end can erase 20 steady minutes. One miss can swallow a night whole. Fans do not remember the first quarter tip out. They remember the last two shots. That is the math of fame. It is not fair. It is not kind. It is just how it works. The backlash had chapters. First came the coach blame. People said the rotations were off. The sets were wrong. The out-of-timeout looks were dusty. Others said the game plan was fine, and the execution was not. After that came the ref blame. Missed calls, phantom whistles, hidden agenda talk. When that cooled, fingers landed back on Angel. Too many touches, not enough touches. Wrong spots on the floor, wrong matchups, wrong reads. You could watch the fan base spin like a weather vane in a storm. Every gust pointed a new direction. Meanwhile, the rivalry ran under everything like a baseline. Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. The internet turned them into a TV show. Every game felt like the next episode, even when they did not play each other. The comparison never stopped. One side yelled that Angel brought grit and energy. The other side yelled that Caitlin was carrying the league. One side posted clips of rebounds and putbacks. The other side posted threes from the logo and no-look lasers. It did not matter that they are different players with different jobs. The web flattened the nuance, because nuance does not trend. Pressure changes people. For some, it becomes a drug. For others, it becomes a weight. For Angel, it turned every possession into a test. The crowd reacted before the ball even left her hand. You could feel it in the arena audio. A tight inhale on the catch, a louder one at the line. You could feel it on the bench, on the sideline, in the comments, in the quotes. And you could see it on her face. She is a showman. But even showmen get tired of being cross-examined by the crowd. There is also the style tax. Angel plays with swagger. She talks, she celebrates, she stares down. That is fine when you win. It is gasoline when you lose. The same pose that crowns you in victory becomes a meme when the shot rims out. The same energy that sells the league becomes the energy that feeds the hate machine. That is the modern deal. You want the clicks, you get the scrutiny, you want the spotlight, you get the sunburn. It is not fair. It is not new. It is just louder now. And then we arrive at the moment that set the tone. Late game, close score, the chance to flip the story. The camera found Angel. The crowd rose. The arc looked fine. The rim said no. The next one was flat. People groaned like they knew the ending. In one breath, the night changed. The other team escaped. The sky sank. The label returned. Worst. The word glowed again. No one remembered the earlier stops. No one remembered the box outs. Only the sound of a ball meeting iron in a quiet building. But again, that is not the whole story. The Sky were not a perfect machine. The spacing was cramped. The timing felt late. The chemistry flickered in and out like a weak signal. Some nights the guards saw her early. Some nights the ball stuck. Some nights the post seals came too late. Some nights the screen angles were off by an inch. You do not notice any of that on the highlight cut. You notice it when the game is close. You notice it when every inch matters. And in those inches, the Sky often lost ground. The internet also dragged analytics into the fire. Charts floated around showing pick and roll touches, shot types, efficiency splits. Some fans waved them like receipts. Others shrugged and said the eye test beats a chart. The truth lives in between. Angel thrives when the lane is clean, when she can beat someone down the floor, when the second shot is there, when the guards reward the run, when the defense must respect the perimeter. If those boxes are unchecked, her night becomes a wrestling match. And wrestling looks heroic until it looks heavy. There's a voice we have not heard enough in this noise. Angel's own internal one. The one that wakes up with the headlines still buzzing. The one that stares at the practice rack the next morning and says, again, again, again. The one that knows a free throw is muscle memory and breath, not a referendum on a career. The one that knows the internet will not hold the follow-through for you. That voice is the only voice that matters if she wants to flip this narrative. And she can. Plenty of players have done it. Plenty of players have taken the villain edit and turned it into a hero arc. Because here is the irony. The same fans who call her the worst today will blast the timeline with heart emojis the night she hits 2 clutch shots and waves to the crowd. Sports memories are short and dramatic. 1 week is a lifetime. 1 playoff chase is a saga. People love a comeback more than they love a collapse. Give them a rally, and they will rewrite your bio by sunrise. So what actually changes the story? Not a thread, not a post, not a press conference. It is the boring stuff. It is footwork, angle, patience. It is holding the seal a beat longer. It is crouching lower on the catch so the hands do not sneak in. It is seeing the weak side cutter a half second earlier. It is shooting the same free throw the same way, after a make and after a miss. It is accepting the trap and trusting the kick out because the swing pass might be the dagger. It is guarding without silly fouls. It is the small, silent, repeatable choices that stack up into trust. And trust is the word the Sky need most. Trust that the first quarter energy becomes fourth quarter poise. Trust that a bad start does not mean a bad finish. Trust that the loudest voice online is not the smartest voice on the court. Trust that the star who took the heat last week will take the hit today and still crash the glass. Trust that the coach can blend freedom and structure. Trust that the locker room can argue at noon and hoop at 7 like nothing happened. The best teams are families that know how to fight and still show up. There is also a brand angle here. Angel is a star beyond the box score. The hair, the nails, the quotes, the smile, the grit. The industry likes that. The league needs that. It is good business when she is center stage. It is not a conspiracy. It is a market. But markets do not save you in the last 2 minutes. Marketability is a door opener. Performance is the key. The audience will watch because you are loud. They will stay because you deliver. That is the job. And Angel knows it. People forget that growth is not linear. It is jagged. It swerves. It dips and rises. You can average a double-double and still get cooked online for a single moment. You can own a quarter and still be dragged for 1 possession. That is not hypocrisy. It is sports. It is fandom. It is the price of being seen. The antidote is also simple. Keep going. Keep learning. Keep cleaning the tiny edges of your craft while everyone else argues about vibes. Fans want a promise. Here it is. The narrative will flip. It always does for players who keep showing up. The same crowd that booed today will cheer tomorrow if tomorrow feels brave. The same timeline that laughed will post the clip with fire emojis when the shot falls. The same poll that labeled worst will feel dusty when the wins stack. That is not fake optimism. That is the cycle. It is the loop. It is the rhythm of sport. But it does not happen by accident. It happens when a player decides to write the next chapter herself. Angel can. She is built for it. She has the engine. She has the spotlight. She has the stubbornness that all great rebounders have. The ball comes off weird. They still get it. The bounce looks wrong. They still find it. That is not luck. That is persistence with instincts. Apply that same persistence to the late game free throw, to the pocket pass catch, to the patience on a double, and the narrative melts. So here's the question I will leave you with. Was the criticism fair, or was it a pile-on? Maybe it was both. Maybe it started as analysis and turned into theater. Maybe it started as theater and revealed something real. Either way, the next act belongs to Angel. She can let worse live in her head, or she can turn it into kindling. The difference is a handful of small choices stacked across a month. You will not notice them on a Tuesday. You will feel them in a fourth quarter in a packed building when everything is loud and quiet at the same time. When that night comes, I hope the ball swings. I hope the feet are set. I hope the breath is slow. I hope the follow-through is long. I hope the sound is net. And I hope the timeline watches a player take a word, break it in half, and build something stronger from the pieces. Call it grit. Call it growth. Call it the end of a tired narrative. Call it the moment Angel Reese stopped carrying the label and started carrying her team. Because that is the only clapback that matters. Not a post, not a quote, not a thread, just the scoreboard. And the echo of a quiet arena that already knows how this story ends.